What's going on, everyone? My name is Mika and today we are going to be talking about acoustic guitars. A while ago, the Thomann Guitar and Bassist channel posted a video about acoustic guitars, which is called Acoustic Guitar Guide for Electric Players, and that very much resonated with me because I identify as an electric guitar player. And in that video, the host Chris is talking about the struggles that electric guitar players may face switching to an acoustic guitar for the first time, and I thought it'd be interesting to show you guys my perspective on things because I am that person that struggled a lot doing that. And if any of you guys are in the same position as I was, maybe, I can give you guys some of my experience I had with it, just share a few tips along the way. So let's dive right in.
Regular, normal string gauges for steel string acoustic guitars are 11s, 12s, and 13s. That is going to be a massive jump if you're used to 9s or 9.5s, maybe even 10s on an electric guitar.
Yes, I absolutely agree with this. It is incredibly difficult to go from, let's say, 9s to an acoustic guitar that has 11s or 12s even on it. My very, very first guitar was a Jackson Dinky. It was kind of a super strat, if you want to call it that. And it had really thin strings. It had a set of 9s on it. After, a year of playing or so, I got my first acoustic guitar and it came with, I think, 11s, maybe even 12s on it. And it was another dimension. So yes, I agree.
Make sure that that acoustic guitar you're about to play is set up as good as possible. I mean a low string action. I mean a proper nut check, like setting up the nut and filing it if necessary, making sure that the bridge saddle is right and the top of the guitar's body.
The guitar setup. Oh man, don't get me started on the guitar setup. If you're going to remember anything about this video, then that, in my opinion, the guitar setup is probably the most important key factor to a fun experience playing. When I started playing guitar, as I said, I played on this Super Strat. I played this for about a year or so, and then I got an acoustic guitar. I don't quite remember what kind of acoustic guitar it was. It was a very, very, very cheap one, and it was just horrible. I absolutely hated that thing. It just felt like I just, turned the difficulty knob up to expert level because it was just so incredibly hard to play. Of course, it was a very cheap guitar, but my point is it was horribly set up. And I think that is the factor that probably kills the fun the most, at least in my experience. It definitely killed my fun playing acoustic guitar the most by far. And how do you tackle this problem? Well, Chris has given good advice in this video with saying that you should get a guitar that is set up well out of the box.
I grabbed this Taylor AD12. It's called because, well, first of all, it's brand new and I wanted to check it out. And second of all, it's a Taylor and all these guitars come with a ridiculously good setup.
So I just want to give you guys a tip and tell you about this guitar I have right here. This is the Takamine, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The Takamine, what is it, G Series? And it's an amazing guitar, which is, very much affordable for beginners. For $300 to $350, you can get yourself one of these. If that's still too much for you, then I would suggest going with a Harley Benton guitar, which is Thomann's in-house guitar brand. And they make extremely good guitars for extremely low prices. Another thing, if you're a seasoned electric guitar player and you're willing to spend some money on your acoustic guitar, take a look at the Fender Acoustasonic. I used to play that one a while ago, and it was just so much fun. It's basically like an acoustic guitar in the form factor of an electric guitar, and it's like a blend of both. It's like the best of both worlds, and that's a really, really fun and interesting guitar. Now, if you already own a guitar that's, decent, but you don't have it set up the way you like it, take it to a guitar shop. They usually can set up your guitar for very low prices. They're usually, pretty helpful along the way, may even give you tips. If you want to do it yourself, there's probably a million great tutorials on YouTube on how to do it. But if you don't feel like fiddling around with it too much or, making mistakes on it or something, just take it to a guitar shop.
Try to avoid bends. You can bend on an acoustic guitar, of course, but it will just not work the same way. The long, full note bends with a big vibrato on top, it can work, but most of the times it's nicer if you just try to hammer on or pull off which is one technique that you can do instead of bending notes.
Yes, I agree. It is frustrating, and especially if you have large strings, it's really, really hard and not recommended to bend your strings too much on an acoustic guitar. It's important to think about adjusting your playing style. What I mean by that is you cannot just play the same way on an acoustic guitar than you would on an electric guitar, at least most of the time. It's kind of similar to not every guitarist being able to play the bass correctly because it just involves different technique. It's just a different experience. It's that same thing even, between the electric and the acoustic guitar because it's still somewhat of a different instrument. Chris said something really important, that instead of bends, you could do hammer-ons and pull-offs. That's a great advice. What are hammer-ons and pull-offs exactly? Well, a hammer-on is when you just take your finger and instead of putting it on there before you strike the note before and then you put the finger on there like so. Now, a pull-off would be the complete opposite of that. You have your finger on the note, and then you hit the string, and you pull your finger off like so. Another simple tip I could give you, and this is probably how I learned most of the guitar techniques I know today, is look at what your favorite artists are doing on the instrument. Like, if you have picked up an acoustic guitar, you probably have an artist or a band or a piece of music that has inspired you to do so. Try to learn some of their songs, and you will see, really pay attention to the guitar techniques they're using, and you'll see how to make them work for yourself. And that is, I think, the most fun way to learn guitar techniques. Also, don't underestimate YouTube tutorials. There are amazing guitar teachers on YouTube these days, and for any guitar technique you want to find out more about, there's probably tens of thousands of YouTube videos. So, if you really want to do it, just dig in there. Look at what your favorite artists are doing. Go to a teacher that teaches acoustic guitar, or just, look up a few acoustic guitar techniques on YouTube, and you'll be good to go. Now, in the end of this video, you are probably asking yourself, is it worth it to pick up an acoustic guitar if I have to, follow all these steps and, have to spend money and spend time and really do my research? Is it really worth it? And I would always say the answer is yes, it absolutely is. As with any skill, it's great to broaden your horizon, especially if you want to be a versatile guitar player. It's amazing what you learn about guitar playing when you change up instruments every once in a while. If you want to invest some time, if you're ready to, take on something that's, that will have a learning curve, but will also be great fun, then yes, you should absolutely try, checking out the acoustic guitar if you're only used to playing electric guitars. Special thanks to the Thomann's Guitar and Basses channel that has inspired me to ramble about guitars even more than I already do. If you're not subscribed there yet, then go and do that because they do all kinds of interesting videos, all kinds of great stuff. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any more questions, let us know in the comments below. And if you like the channel, like what we do, then consider subscribing. It really helps us out a lot. And yeah, see you next time.